Welcome to my channel, StraightTake. Today we'll be talking about the controversy behind Noah Lyles' comment about the NBA. But before I get into it, please subscribe and just hit the button below, and you guys are free to comment and say whatever it is that you need to say, and I'll respond in kind. Okay, now let's go. You guys are familiar, right? And with the statement, because it's been all over social media, on the news, all over. And what he said was, after he won the 200, I believe, a reporter asked him a question about, championships and champions and so on and so forth. It was a question by the reporter that led to him responding like he did. And what he said was, what hurts me, quote, what hurts me the most is I have to watch the NBA finals and they have world champion on their heads. And he basically said, world champion of what? The United States? So social media, the NBA, and everybody's parents just went berserk. Young folks, everybody. What is this? What is he trying to say? But my opinion is technically he's right. Okay, I know some of you may disagree with me because you're going to say that the NBA is a global sport. Yes, it is. I agree with that. Some of you will say, well, there are a lot of foreign players in the NBA, which is true. Well, let me ask you a question. Just because there are foreign players in the NBA, does that make it a world champion when it comes to the NBA finals? Remember, the NBA finals is played between national teams. The only other NBA team is in Canada, and it's only one. Okay, so those two countries speak for the rest of the world. We have to look at context here. Every NBA team play against teams in other cities in the United States of America. Okay? So let's take that and relate it to FIBA basketball, the World Cup, the Olympics. Okay? I'll start with the Olympics. It's countries versus countries. Yeah, it's countries versus countries in the Olympics. So if the United States national team wins and defeat all the other countries' teams in the Olympics, then that is world. That is world. The same goes for football, which here in America we call soccer. Okay, but we do know of the World Cup. All these countries play this game, and the winner can say they are world champs because they played against teams all across the globe. The NBA doesn't do that. Yes, there are NBA players that play on the national team in the Olympics. And when they win again, like I said, then it becomes world champs of the Olympics. They are world champs. They played against all these teams. In the NBA, that's not the case. They only play against one other country, and that's Canada, with the Raptors, Toronto Raptors. Okay? So that's not world. So he's correct. He's correct. it's because I think what has happened is here in the United States, a lot of people have become accustomed to how and why we say and agree to things that make sense to most people here in America. Again, the World Series for one, okay? Back in the day, it was called the World Series. They only played national teams, but it was called the World Series. Before, it was the championship, like in Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and these guys. In those days, it wasn't called the World Series. It was just the championship. However, as time went on, they made a transition to the World Series. But they're only playing national teams. But of late, there is a World Series now, if you want to call it that, where countries play against other countries, including the United States. And guess what? The United States lost the last game they played against, I believe it was Japan, where they lost. I think Japan won the World Series of baseball. Okay? Now that's what you call a World Series. Okay? But even though the United States still use World Series for their national championship, it begs to differ somewhat from the NBA, because they do have a World Series in baseball where countries, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, America, Canada, Japan, all these countries that play baseball, and the winner is the world champion. So I can get that with baseball, even though they're still using the World Series again, like I said, for the national team. Okay? In the case of the NBA, it's totally different. There is no world basketball that includes the NBA champion. Let's say, for instance, okay, the Denver Nuggets won the NBA Finals. Okay? Now, if the NBA would come up with something like this with other countries, the winner of the NBA Finals would play against the winner of, say, Germany Finals, the Australian Finals, the Philippines Finals, all these teams that play in FIBA, okay? All these teams, the winner of these national teams, the national teams, okay? Not just FIBA, the national team of Australia, the national team of Germany, the national team of Slovenia, the national team of all these countries, including Canada and the United States, okay? When they win the championship, their finals, they should all play. And then the winner of that would be the world champion. That would be the world champion. But if it's just the NBA and you're saying they're world champs, no, it doesn't make sense. And that's just plain common sense. I mean, really look into it. Look at the context. It's people are coming down on Noah Lyles. You see all these NBA players saying a lot of these things. Well, he's wrong. He's such and such, such and such. Even Stephen A. Smith had to go back and retract what he said early on, because sometimes people jump the gun, so to speak. But he's right. Track and field is a world sport. The Olympics, yeah, is world. The championships that they call worlds, okay, for the fastest man, the fastest woman, etc., etc. You are running against other countries. And if the United States win, in the case of the country where I was born, if Jamaica wins, if some other country wins and have the most medals, okay, and win certain events, yeah, because it's called the World Champions, World Championships. It's called Worlds, okay? And anyone who follows athletics know this. All these athletes in track and field across the world, they go to Worlds, which prepares them for the Olympics, okay? And if you do the same thing that you do in Worlds, at the Olympics, you are the world champion, because you're competing against other runners, other athletes from different countries. And you guys are all there. You guys are all assembled there, and you guys are all competing against one another. That's a big difference versus the NBA, where's the Celtics, the Lakers, the Knicks, the Heat, what else? A bunch of other teams, Sacramento, the Kings, the Philadelphia 76ers, all these teams. These are national teams. So I beg to differ with all the remarks and all the disagreement to what Noah Lyles said. But if there's anyone who would like to talk about it, if they disagree, which I know some of you might, and some of you will agree, but just leave your comments down below, and I'll respond kindly, in kind, because this is open media medium where you can just say what it is that you need to say, and I'll respond in kind, like I said. All right, so until next time, all right, again, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.